Hello everyone, it's me, DillysSims. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Speed Build Sunday, and I decided to make a more industrial meets modern hemp. Maybe they grow hemp in the backyard, but hipster-like house. My sister needed a house for her Sims, and my sister is a hipster. I have mixed feelings about that. And she had like a budget and stuff, which I completely ignored. Which, that's not true. At first, I built the house with the budget in mind, and then I just rebuilt the house because I didn't like the way it looked without it being done, because it didn't look complete. Like, there was a bunch of walls missing artwork, it just didn't look like a completed house. So I went ahead and I finished it, and I made her version of a house, which has a bunch of open space and stuff missing, and then I made this house, the version that's going up on YouTube, which looks nice and beautiful and is perfect for any modern hipster family. There's exposed brick. The only thing that's missing is like pipes hanging out of the walls. And I did do a couple of different things, like there's a bar here in the kitchen, and I also made that one long table stick out of the counter, if that makes sense. Like, it's gonna stay there. It's gonna stay there connected to the counter. And I think, personally, it looks really good. I was very proud of this house. Sometimes I'm not proud of the houses that I make, but this one I was right on the money with. I was really happy. And of course I did take some inspiration from Google, because my type of house, like I said this many times before, and I'm gonna say it many times again, my type of house that I like to make is a typical suburban house, you know, with like wood paneling and beautiful flowers everywhere. That's my type of house, the type of house you would see in a suburb. So I do like to go on to... Wait, I thought I put a bar there. We'll see. I built this house a couple of weeks ago. So I just had it on, like, backlog just in case I needed it for anything. We'll see. There's concrete throughout the entire house, except upstairs. Upstairs is wood, but the first floor, I believe, is all concrete. Right? I don't want to lie to you guys by accident. We'll see. But I have some wonderful stories to tell you guys. Let me grab my phone, because that's where I write all my stories down. I don't want to accidentally keep stories from you guys, because I know I need to make wonderful, riveting content that you guys love to watch. I'm going to Jackie's party, extra bitch work at work, stressed about test. Okay, I'm gonna start with being stressed. Okay, so I'm in college right now, and I had an exam last week, and then I have this week to study. No, wait, 2 weeks ago? What was it last week? It was 2 weeks ago. And then I had last week and this coming week to learn new material for the final next week. I know, it's very busy. And I stressed so much before that exam. Like, I freaked out. Heather called me and she was like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I was like, I really can't. I would love to, but I'm not Chinese. I'm not good at math. I can't. I need to focus on my, test. And, I went into the test, and I missed a couple of days because I went to Disneyland, so I didn't learn all the material. But I studied my ass off. Like, I studied so hard and so much, and I texted one of my classmates who was an actual friend of mine that I knew before class, and I was telling her, because we go to the same church too, I was like, I really wish I went to church and lit candles, because I was stressing out. And during the test itself, I spent the entire, because it's like a 2-hour long test. I think we're in class for an hour and a half to 2 hours, something like that. And I was there the entire time. I had like 5 minutes before he collected the test and was like, okay, you're all done, no matter whether or not you're done, I'm collecting the tests. And I stressed out and freaked out a lot, but I don't know. I don't know why I was so stressed. Like, I was gonna cry on top of my test. I was so stressed out. But then, this is what happens when you stress out. Sometimes stressing out is not necessary, but if it helps you in the end, like, I was stressed out, so I studied. I probably wouldn't have studied as much if I wasn't confident and didn't freak out a lot, but in the end, we got back our tests, and we were, you know, like, class started, and he was passing out tests, and I was like, oh, I wonder what I got on mine, and I got an 86%, and I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus, thank you so much, God is real. I was so happy, and even though there was a silver lining, God works in mysterious ways, and he made me feel so horrible, because I got my test, and my classmate was telling me that she needs to get an A on this exam and get an A in the final so she can pass the class. And like, I got my test before hers, and I was like, yeah, I'm so happy, I'm gonna call my mom, I'm gonna call Heather, I'm gonna call Kayla, and I did, in front of her. And then she got hers, and she got like a C, and she was like, I'm not gonna pass this class, and I was like, oh. Now I felt horrible. I don't know why stuff like this happens, but I felt horrible because I was so proud of myself, and then I was like showing her my test, and we were like happy for me, and then she was like, I'm not passing this class. And I felt so horrible because she really, if I could, I would have given her some of my points for her to pass, but because she tries. I know she tries. She tries a lot harder than I do. And I know it's not fair, but I felt horrible. Like, I didn't talk about my test after that anymore because I just felt so bad. Like, I felt like I was rubbing it in her face before she even got her test back, before I even knew what her test was. I felt horrible. Tell me these things happen to other people, because I felt so bad. I felt so bad for her. Not just like for her, but I also like felt so guilty. You know, like, I felt guilty that I got a good score on my test. And in reality, I skipped no questions. Even the questions that I didn't understand, I tried. I didn't get them all right, but I tried my very best. And she skipped a couple of questions. If you skip questions, it's not like 1 point per question. It's like sometimes 10, 15. So, I mean, I don't want to say... I don't know. I felt super horrible, and I just wanted to confide in somebody, and I haven't confided this in anybody. Like, I haven't told anybody about me feeling horrible that I got a better score on my test, even though I studied. And I got a good score, but I felt bad because my classmate did poorly, and she really desperately needed, you know, a better grade for her to pass. And I'm kind of sad, too, because unlike other classmates of mine, I didn't really care about them. And excuse me, I'm stumbling over my words. I have to take math again next semester, and I'm not gonna have her to take math class with, so I'm gonna be like alone. Which sucks because up until this semester, I have always been kind of alone. I haven't really had friends to take a math class with, or any class, so I was so happy to have her. Now I can't. And it made me feel just horrible. I really hope other people... I mean, I don't hope... How do I put this? I don't wish what I felt upon anybody, because it was just an awkward situation. But I really kind of also hope that I'm not the only one that experiences stuff like this. Like situations where it's like, oh, I did really, really well, and then, you know, my friend didn't, and you know, you feel bad. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I hope I'm not sounding stupid, but I probably sound super stupid. And then, okay, can I talk about one of my favorite TV shows right now? And I love this show. I watched the original version because it's a reboot. So I'm watching Dynasty on the CW. I absolutely love Dynasty. I loved it back in the 80s. And no, I'm not that old. I just watched Dynasty on Amazon about a year ago. And then I found out that they were rebooting it, and I was like, whoa. It's like God knows what I'm watching, and then is like, let's reboot series just so Dylan could watch them. And I am very pleasantly surprised with the way this reboot's going. I was watching some of it during my 10-minute break at work today, and I was on the edge of my seat. And if you guys don't know what Dynasty is, it's a TV show, all scripted of course, about like the 1% of America. You know, like the richest of the rich. Even in the commercials they try to like show how rich they are. Like one of the characters is sitting on this is a commercial. One of the characters, Fallon, is sitting on the couch, and the butler brings over like a diamond necklace, and she goes and she points at one of the diamonds, and then he picks apart the diamond necklace to put the diamonds in a drink like ice so she can drink it. Not like, she doesn't like consume the diamonds, she just drinks the liquid, but the diamonds are there like as ice because, you know, diamonds are ice. Does that make sense? And then it says Dynasty, and all the commercials are like super over the top, like, yeah, we get it, they have money. Yeah, I absolutely love this show. And their Thanksgiving episode it kept me on my seat, even though I watched it today because did I say that it kept me on my seat? I was on my seat because I was on my break, but it kept me on the edge of my seat because it was so good. And I actually just to be honest, I actually took like a 15-minute break because I was like, I don't want this to end. But of course, everything comes to an end. And I really hope this show, because like I said, it's a remake, and you know, typically remakes don't last that long. Like, I think Dallas only lasted 2 seasons. But I really hope Dynasty lasts like 6. I'd be very happy with 6. 6 is a solid run, you know? But, I don't know. Watch Dynasty so it could stay on the air. Yeah! I'm not being sponsored by Dynasty, so I just really, really like the show. And Riverdale. I really like Riverdale. The way this season is going, I really want to know who the Black Hood is. I have no theories. I heard a theory that it might be, and you could like cover your ears and go blah 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 for the next like 10 seconds. But, spoiler alert, I heard that it might be Betty Cooper's dad. But I don't understand why it would be, you know? To me, that wouldn't make any sense. But I don't know. I have no theories on who it might be. Because it just doesn't... I can't come up with any theories on who it might be. I kind of think it might just be a random person that, like, nobody knows or has seen yet. And can I just say, Cheryl is by far my favorite character. Cheryl is over the top. She is sexy. She is beautiful. She is witty. She is smart. And she is manipulative and evil. And that is my type of character. I want to be evil and manipulative just like Cheryl Blossom. And now that I think about it, Fallon in Dynasty is one of my favorite characters. And she is really evil and manipulative too. But, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna go quickly back to Dynasty. I was watching it during my 15-minute break, and Fallon went to go volunteer at like a soup kitchen because her family kicked her out. Watch the show, it'll make sense. And one of the soup kitchen people was like, "Thank you so much for your help today." And she was like, "Oh yeah, no problem. I just like to remind myself that poor people can be happy too. And like the person at the soup kitchen was like, oh, and actually it wasn't a soup kitchen now that I say it out loud. It was a church, and she went to go volunteer, and she was like, I've always wanted to volunteer at a soup kitchen. And the guy was like, it's a church, and she's like, it's the same thing. Yeah, I love her. She's so funny. She's very evil. Just watch it and you'll love it. I promise you'll love it. There's so much drama. Yeah. And it's only episode 7 of the first season, and I'm like wanting more. If a TV show could do that to me, I want it to stay on the air forever. I would give loads of money for it to stay on the air. But I don't have that power. And I really hope it doesn't go the way of Devious Maids, because I really liked Devious Maids too. But then all of a sudden it just like didn't get renewed for like a 7th season. And people were like, wait, what's wrong? What happened? And like even the actors like tweeted and they were like, we don't know what's going on. Thank you so much for your like support and watching the show. Yeah. I was trying to figure out what to do with this room, because I wanted it to be like a girl's room but also edgy. So I put a guitar, but I didn't know what to do with it. So it did end up staying a little bland-ish. At least to me. It ended up staying a little bland to me at least. And this was before the sizing down tool, because I definitely would have sized down a couple of tools. I mean, I definitely would have sized down a couple of items. But no, this was way before the sizing. Yeah, it was like maybe a month or plus ago. How long have we? Yeah, we only had the sizing down tool for a couple of weeks, right? But it was like way before. And then landscaping. Landscaping for this house was very awful, because it was a very modern build, like industrial, but you can't just leave the house like this, obviously, on the outside, because it looks ugly. So I was like, what do? I have no idea. So I went to my like standard flower. Oh wait, am I not working on the outside yet? Oops. Well, I'll just continue talking about the outside. So I went to my like standard flowers. I put bushes the way I normally like. What is it called when you landscape? My normal landscaping of like adding bushes and flowers. And there's not really a backyard, but I put this house on this lot specifically because the backyard where I have like the chairs and I think a little barbecue, you can look out into the lake, and I really liked that idea, because this is kind of like a very industrial, modern lake house, sort of. This is where my sister wanted her house, so I just kept it. And that's why I didn't put a backyard, because I feel like just the view of the lake is a backyard within itself. Wait, I'm sizing stuff down. I sized... Okay. I think what happened was I started building before the sizing up and down tool, and then I updated. Okay, that's what happened. And I have like a couple of minutes to go. So let me try to see if I can find a quick story on my notes. I have talking about the test. Oh, I'm gonna keep talking about school. So while I'm getting ahead of myself like I normally do. Right before my exam, which I freaked out about, we were studying the week before, like as a class. Like people would come in, ask questions like, will this be on the test? Can we go over this practice problem? And my professor would. And then I found out, because my professor got up, and then he was like in pain. Like from his chair. And he's like in his 30s. And this made me really sad. And like also scared, because this can apparently happen to anyone. But my teacher, who's like only 30 something, I found out he has arthritis. That's horrible, because I always thought that arthritis was just for like older people, like the elderly, but apparently I'm wrong. And it made me really, really sad to see that, because he has young kids in elementary school, and he's already suffering with problems like this. It really, I don't know, hurt me, sort of. I mean, I don't have any like emotional attachment to my teacher, but it just like made me really sad to see that, because he's a really nice guy. Doesn't want anyone to fail. He tries really hard to be a good teacher, I think, at least. And like I said, he has young kids. It's not like in elementary school, I believe, because he talks about them a lot. So he has a couple of years of like chasing them still, and he's already having like walking problems and getting up, and he's like, sometimes my arthritis flares up. And I was like, oh, you poor guy, because I don't think anyone at a young age deserves to have arthritis. And it's not like it's something that has, you know, a cure. Sorry, I left things off on a really horrible note. This whole episode, or this whole like voiceover was like down. It was like, I feel bad because I made my classmate feel bad. I talked about Dynasty. Watch Dynasty. That is the highlight of this whole walkthrough. Voiceover is just watch Dynasty. It's great. It'll bring you so much joy. Rich people are over the top, and screenshots are coming up very, very soon. And I'm going to leave this part off here. Like, subscribe, comment, do all those fun YouTube things. If there's any sort of build you want to see done, let me know in the comment section below, and I will attempt it next week. And I will catch all of you guys next time. Bye, everybody.